we have zucchini. So this is one of my summer crops that I saved room for so it could get started. Didn't have to wait on any of the spring crops. Zucchini on this side, and then on that side there's summer squash, and we actually have a male flower that's open over there, so we'll get over there in a second. Here we finally have some blooms on our nasturtium flowers, and the onion is doing so good. If you can look closely, you may even see we have some bulbing a little bit going on. It's so dense in there, it's kind of hard to see. It's looking like they're starting to bulb a little bit. So I have been going in there with a fruit and bloom fertilizer. So I've been doing it maybe once every other week, usually on Fridays, once every other Friday. And I think that it is helping them look great. Here we have some cabbages. For some reason my cabbage this year didn't head up. I'm not sure why it didn't, but I love cabbage, so I'll probably just be eating these inner leaves because it's not going to waste. I wish I had chickens because I could just give it to my chickens, but I don't have chickens. Not yet anyway. I would like to get some. Here we have our cauliflower. I swear these cauliflower just grew overnight. It was like 1 minute we didn't have any, and then the next minute, there they were. And then here's one of the broccolis we're going to be harvesting today. It's huge. And I want to harvest it before it starts to break apart. If you can kind of see, it's still tight, but you can kind of see how there's a little bit of separation. So I don't want it to get bitter, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest that. And I'll go around this way. So more cabbage that didn't hit, but it's fine. Like I said, I'm going to have to harvest it though, because these are technically, so actually tell me what you guys think I should do. So these, they don't look bad. Like how some of the crops, I'll go around and show you, like some of the spring crops, they're browning and you kind of know it's almost time to get them out of here. But these cabbages, I mean, they still look pretty good. So because I got these from the nursery, I'm not sure if they're a heat tolerant cabbage variety, but I almost want to just leave them in to see if I'll eventually get heads. The only problem is that last year my cabbages were ready, I want to say mid-June. So I was able to get them out of here and get other things for summer planted in their spot. Succession planting. Well, not succession planting because it's not the same plant, but still just having a plan for, my second crop. And this year, because it's taking a little bit longer, we still have plenty of time in the season. So I'm trying to decide if I want to just harvest what's here, eat the leaves that I have, and then go ahead and plant my beans, or if I should just kind of let them hang out and see if they eventually head up. I love cabbage, so it wouldn't be a loss in my book because I do still have plenty of space where I could put beans. But I just had a plan in my mind, and I want to stick to the plan, but I also, just for curiosity's sake, I want to know if it'll wind up heading up. So we'll see. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Should I leave it, or should I go ahead, harvest it, and then plant other crops? Over here we have another cauliflower, and this is a bush cucumber variety, and so is that one. And part of the reason why I want to take this out is because, it is casting a lot of shade, and I have things like, for example, all of my carrots that are over there. And I planted some cosmos seeds under this because I wanted to have flowers growing alongside the beans so it could look pretty. But because the cabbage has taken so long, they did sprout, but they aren't really having any forward motion because they need that sunlight. Ooh, what's that? See that bug on my... Gotta get that guy out of here. Okay, here are my Brussels sprouts. And if I'm being honest, this is really my first year growing Brussels sprouts, so if you look down here, it looks like they're doing okay. I know you're supposed to pull the stems off as they grow, but I don't know how often I'm supposed to do that. So I don't know. But I'll just keep doing it, and they're not brown, so I'm not killing them. That's the main thing. Here we have some peas. So this is one of the crops that I need to actually get out of here so that I can plant some other trellising vegetables, probably my pole beans. And then over here we have spaghetti squash. Ooh. Spaghetti squash over here. And I have my petunias and patience and the small ones. More petunias. And then my white scallop squash have germinated. So what I actually did with that little guy over there is it was 2 seeds that germinated over here. So basically I just kind of like dug down a little bit and pulled one out and put it over there since there was an empty space right there. And it doesn't look dead, so I'm hoping that that works. We'll see. And then all along the fence, every trellis, so every black obelisk trellis and then every bamboo, they all have tomatoes, different tomato varieties at them. And then in between are marigolds. So I really need to get down there and do some weeding. I weed quite frequently. I mean, every day I come out here, I'll pull some. I don't get them all every time, but I try to stay on top of it as much as I can. So over here we have more nasturtium. Looks like some flowers are coming through. Oh, look. And then we have beets. The beets are doing really good. They're about ready, honestly. Look at how big that beet is. So they're about ready. So my plan for the beets, I saw on TikTok a lady who was juicing her beets and like made them into little shots. So I think that that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna pickle some, and then I think we're gonna juice some and have them in the refrigerator mixed with either some ginger or pineapple, and they'll just be little healthy beet shots for in the morning before we get our day started. That's the plan. Here are the onions. For some reason the onions in the beds over here, maybe because they're a little more shaded out, and the ones that are like over in those beds are just onions, so they're not shaded out. But I've noticed the onion over there is bulbing up way bigger than the onion on the ends in this bed. So, but it's fine. I'm sure we'll get something and I will eat it. So these are going to be taken out soon. So as you can see, it's kind of dying back, which is actually good because I needed to get out of here. It's produced a lot. These are peas, and I've been eating more peas in the garden than I have been in the house. So I want to just do one big harvest of them and then just take them all in the house and pull them out. So here is a cauliflower. So I thought this bed only had 2 cauliflowers. Whole time it was 3. One of them was just hidden behind some of my cabbage plants. So here's another cabbage plant that didn't head. It got a lot of green growth, just didn't head up. So here's another cauliflower. This one is having some weird discoloration though. Kind of makes me scared to eat it. You guys think it's safe to eat? Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that looks that safe. I mean, maybe I could just cut the little discolored pieces off and still eat it. I don't know. Maybe I should just harvest it because I don't want it to get worse. What do you guys think? Here we have our collards. Collards are doing great. I've been harvesting and they've just been coming right back. And then cabbage, cauliflower. Oh, this cauliflower is starting to look a little weird too. I don't know what that purple is. And they're breaking apart. So I might just go ahead and harvest these today too. Just because there's no point leaving it in there if every day when you come out it looks a little bit, I hate to say worse, but that discoloring, I'll do a little research to see if it's safe. And that's the thing, like as a beginner gardener, when things don't look, I don't want to say perfect because I don't expect it to look perfect, but when things look a little different than you're used to seeing, it will make you nervous to eat it because it's like, okay, does it have a disease? Is that just nature? Because last year, I don't remember any discoloration. I do remember some separation, but not any discoloration. So these are the same peas that are over there. So these are going to get harvested at the same time and pulled out of there so I can use this trellis space. They're still pumping pretty good, but it's time for them to go. This is prime real estate next to this trellis. Here are some tomato plants. I didn't want to even do tomato plants in the raised beds this year, but for some reason I still did it. But they're doing good. They did good last year too. It was just kind of hard because because the trellis is the whole length of the bed. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to, get in there and do what you need to do, which is why majority of my tomatoes are along the fence and on the side of the garage. But look at that broccoli. Look at that broccoli. So that is getting harvested today. Oh, I can't wait to go eat that. I do have some watermelon that's planted along the edge here. They are in there kind of tight, so we'll see if we get, any watermelon. I don't know if it's too densely, like if I put them too close together, but I figured since I was growing them up that I'd have space. And then of course I'll have to prune. More peas. So again, I'll harvest all peas at the same time because we also have some over here in these two. As you can see, there's a lot there, a lot there. And let's go look at this squash. My tomato plants, some of them are finally flowering. I planted my tomatoes about 2 weeks late this year. And so I feel like I'm behind, but it's fine. Oh, we're finally getting some flowering. So when you see the flowers, that means the tomatoes are soon to follow. They're doing so good. And here is a squash plant that I told you about. As you can see, we got some females on there. Just waiting for their flowers to open up so I can take my one open male flower and hand pollinate. But it's looking pretty good so far. So that is the main garden. And let's go to the other portion. Okay, let's head over to the green stalks. Oops. I am a horrible cameraman. I gotta work on this. Okay. So let's look at our first green stalk here. So we have nasturtium, some strawberries, more nasturtiums down here. So these are our sweet million tomatoes. And as you can see, there's a lot of flowers, so hopefully they'll be blooming soon. A lot of strawberries. And again, they're so small because this is their first season. Oh, good. My trap crop, the nasturtium. So look, I don't know if you can see it. But some type of insect or bug has been eating this nasturtium. But I'm not mad at that, because if they're eating the nasturtiums, that means they're not eating my vegetables or my strawberries, which is awesome. So that makes me feel good. And again, more strawberries. I'm so proud of these strawberries because last year my strawberries did not do well at all. So I'm having a way better strawberry year. These are different strawberries. I got the bare roots from Stark Bros. And I'm very happy with how it's going so far. This needs to be moved over, but I'm too weak to move it over. Even though this green stalk does have a spinner with wheels, because it's in the grass and because it's so heavy, it's hard to move it over. So I'll have to have my husband move it over for me so I can put the rest of the trellis support on there. I put the trellis support on there for the 2 tomato plants that we have going on. Now we have the petunia green stalk, petunia and bean green stalk. So we have a lot of beans in this green stalk. A couple different varieties, but the growth is crazy. I planted the beans from seed. They all germinated. So I really want to get another green stalk. Maybe 2 more. I like the yellow ones they have right now. But I want to have 2 green stalks that are specifically just for flowers. Because one of the YouTube channels I watch, she has the prettiest flower green stalks with impatiens, with petunias. And they're so pretty. And petunia is my favorite flower. I always use petunias in my backyard. And I would love to just have an all petunia green stalk. So these are petunias in this green stalk, but I didn't have enough real estate for just flowers. I needed vegetables too. So that's why you see a lot of flowers, but also a lot of beans. Over here, so a lot of these peas are dying back, which we're happy about because they are a spring crop. We only expected to have them for the spring. And I need to pull them out so I can plant other things. But there are so many other things on this green stalk that's just doing so good. Oh my goodness, that thyme right there is so delicious. I've been coming out almost getting a snip every day. I've been putting my kale. For some reason, I'm going through a soup phase. Yes, even though it's summer, I've been making like a wonton soup. And I've been putting the kale in there. So good. Yes, but there are a lot of herbs in this green stalk, which is awesome. I have some flat leaf parsley, some cilantro, and I thought the cilantro probably would have bolted by now, but I think I did good putting it in this green stalk. Well, it is. Looks like it is kind of bolted up here. I didn't see that, but I think I did pretty good putting it in this green stalk because it gets more shade than the other. So I think it lasted way longer than it would have. But as you can see, I have my kale is still doing good. Cilantro down there is still doing good. My lavender. So it's the parsley. I'm really happy with these green stalks. This is my first year having green stalk, and I see why sometimes I'll be looking at pages or YouTube channels and they have 13 of them, because now I want a lot too. They're so awesome, and they take up they don't take up any space almost, and they look pretty as they grow things. And for me, I like the aesthetics of gardening. Now, in the beds, you see it's not always fully weeded. It's not perfect, but I like when things aesthetically look pleasing. And these green stalks, they give me that. So I have so many gardening spaces now, because so if you see my backyard, I like still having backyard, because I actually do enjoy grass, even though right now my grass is brown, but that's because it's been hot, but I do water it. But I like having so much open yard, because I have children. We like to have like little gatherings and barbecues, so I still need backyard space. So that's why, if you notice, that garden over there is tucked off on the side of the house, and then the other side of the house we have our container garden. So these three right here are okras, and then we have potatoes. My cabbages that were over here have just been decimated, but it's okay. I didn't get any heads anywhere, and that's fine. Sometimes it's like that. So here are my sweet potatoes. So these ones in the front were planted before the ones in the back, and it shows because there's a lot more greenery and vining on these ones in the front. I do want to, looks like two of them that were in that one died right there and right over there. So I have plenty more. I was actually worried because I have so many slips and not enough. Well, I do have enough space to put more in there, I guess, but I didn't want to overcrowd it. So here are my onions over here. They're finally looking a little bit thicker at the base. For a while, I thought I was only going to be able to use this as green onion because they weren't really bulbing up, but they are getting a little thicker now. Just not as good as my bed in the other area. And we have some arugula here, my dill. And let me tell you guys about this apple mint plant. When I tell you, when I planted it, it looked like it was not going to bounce back. Everything had dried up on it. The tentacles here, everything on it was just dried. And so what I did was I just pulled all that stuff off. But like the main stalk was still green. So I figured, hey, it still has a chance. So I put it in here, and look, it's bounced back so good, and it smells so good. Rosemary is doing pretty good. And I didn't put a thing in here, but I think I planted beets over here. So I'll have to thin it out because way too many in each little pocket. Okay. And we can go to our next little area. So these trees are starting to like grow back a little bit, so we'll have to come over here and use our big shears and kind of get those trimmed back down. So here is bed number 1 behind the garage. All of our bean seeds that we put in here did germinate, which is awesome. I don't know what happened with this petunia. It was fine just like that one, and then all of a sudden it just tuckered out. But I believe that is a pepper plant right here, and then cucumber bush varieties over there. And then these 3 over here are all squash, summer squash variety. So as you can tell, we love squash. My brother told me that was his favorite vegetable, so I planted a few extras just so I can give him some, and so I can share with my coworkers. We have our tomatoes. Doing pretty good. Only problem is this little bush right here on the outside is growing back, so we'll have to chop it back down so that it doesn't like overcrowd the tomatoes. Impatiens are doing good over here. I just needed flowers that were already blooming, you know, pollinators. So our pepper beds are doing okay. I did not top the peppers. It made me nervous and I didn't do it. Am I gonna regret that? I hope not. But as of right now, that's where we are. But it does look like I see some flowers. So, oh, also my zinnia seeds, they germinated. So as you can see, I don't know if they're too crowded. I don't know if I should thin them out, but I'm just gonna experiment and let them do what they do. These are also zinnia seeds on the edges here that germinated. My stalks are finally flowering. I did not think that was gonna happen because they are a cool weather flower and we are definitely not in cool weather anymore. That's the one stalk I put over there because I didn't have enough space to put it in this bed when I first planted them. And then my dino kale. I love dino kale. So let's see. I haven't pulled these cabbages out, but I am because they're not going to do anything. The big ones, oh look, a bee. The big ones that are in the other beds, those I'm struggling with taking them out. But these little ones that didn't really do anything or that got ate up, I'm not really worried about. I can take them out and put something else over here. Okay, friends, so that will do it for our garden tour today. As you can see, I'm starting to sweat, so it's time to go back in the house and come back out in the evening. I appreciate you all so much for joining me today and looking through my garden tour and just being present, being you, clicking on my video. Thanks so much. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed. We do have a lot more to go, a lot more season to go, and I would like it if you joined us on the journey. Thank you so much for watching Green Thumb Diaries with Alicia. Have a good day.